SpaceCoastDragon here, and it's been a year since mods have been out on Xbox One, and it has been quite the experience being able to use them on a console. Something that, of course, a lot of people thought would never be able to happen, and the fact that it's been able to happen at the level that it is on the Xbox, where, I mean, there's obviously still stuff on the PC you'll never be able to see on console, just simply because of a lot of the scripting and needs for script extenders and things like that. But the number of mods that have made it to console, and some of the ones you wouldn't even think would be able to make it, have come on to console and work just fine. And unfortunately, that's not the same case with the PS4, but that has to do with Sony's restrictions on use of external assets. As you can see, they've added a number of things to the mod menu. Like, they've added a feature bar here, where basically they show off once a month a number of mods. Now, I don't know how they go about choosing these mods. I don't know if Bethesda.net staffers just look through it or what, because it doesn't seem to be on a rating kind of hot file type of thing like it is with the Nexus. That said, if you're looking for something like that, you know, they have the most popular bar, which of course used to be, if I remember correctly, used to be actually 3 separate bars for the day, the week, and the month, but they've condensed it all into one. That was actually a fairly quick update with this interface, and something that's worked quite well. But as you can see, but the issue with this one, with the most popular, is it's based on with the ratings, and the thing is, or sorry, not the ratings, but just the download stuff. But it doesn't really show them in order, and it's the same with the rated, because it's like it's all 5-star, but then how do you determine why one is at the front and the first one you see as opposed to not? You know, there's a lot of factors that you don't really see as to what's going on. I don't know if they base the ratings plus downloads or if it's a combination of things, but basically the most popular is based on downloads, and you have the rated based on the ratings. And then, of course, there's also most favorited, which is a similar deal. But one thing, though, about mods that I really wish would have been addressed within this first year of them being out on the Xbox, and unfortunately at this point I honestly don't think it's ever going to be addressed, but it's that 2 gig limit for mod downloads. It's a little too much. Now, with the way I play, I've found I'm able to work through that and get a lot of base mods, but the thing is I can't really go quite as wild as I would like to, like I do with Skyrim on which I have on my PC. And now, of course, probably would never be able to go as wild as you do with some PC games as far as that. But I feel that the 2 gig limit is just a bit too restricting. I feel they could make it 5 gigs, and the fact that Skyrim Special Edition has that 5 gig limit on the consoles makes you think, why couldn't they do that for Fallout 4? It's something that could be done. Now, the thing is, I don't think they're ever going to go back and try to get that limit increased, because I think that has a lot to do more with dealing with Microsoft than it does simply with Bethesda's issues. And I don't think they're going to want to have to work out a deal. Or maybe they worked out a deal with Microsoft where that 2 gig limit has to be, you know, enforced up to a certain period, and then they can increase it. I don't know. There's probably no real rhyme or reason for any of it, but it's just 2 gigs, and when you have some mods that you are just fantastic, but they're just so big so you can't use them in combination with each other, like for example Tales of the Commonwealth, when you use that's a little over 500 megs, which is not bad. You know, but it is huge, and it takes up a lot of space. Or if you wanted to say use something like Modern Firearms, which is a wonderful mod, I love it. I've used it a few times, but the problem is it's almost a gig. I mean, just using that, and then the sidearms add-on for it. When you use both of those together, I mean, you're looking at half of your space already gone with just that mod. And that's no issue to the mod authors or anything like that. That's just some of these mods, especially ones that add new textures, because textures are the things that really, really take up the file sizes. They just can't make them really any smaller. They can do what they can, but there's really only so much you can do. And with just two gigs, it's just, you've gotta really pick and choose. So, I mean, I guess in its own way you can make some creative things, but I still feel in some sense it's a little bit limiting, because I don't know. It's what it is. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. And like I said, there's a million mods out there that are great. It's just a lot of them tend to be fairly big, so you got to kind of pick and choose your big ones, and then load up on some small ones that are you kind of feel in your own way or necessity of like things, especially things like the unofficial patch and whatnot. In any case, enough griping on that. Other things that have come across through the first year with mods being on console, one of the big controversies, of course, was the mod theft, because certain people were like, "Oh, this mod has to be on the consoles right now. We can't wait for the mod author to make it work, or make sure it works on consoles, or do what they need to do to tweak it, or get it up there where they want to get." No, we're gonna download it from the Nexus and we're gonna upload it onto BethesdaNet right now. No rhyme or reason. And Bethesda's response to that was honestly way too slow. That's the main issue, because mod theft happens not just on console. It happens on PC. It happened with Steam Workshop and Skyrim. It happens, it happens all the time. It's just one of those things that happens. But when you have sites like the Nexus that are able to police themselves well, things like that, they can take care of it fast. The problem with what Bethesda had set up is they wanted you to make the copy, or not copyright, but they wanted you to go through a claims process and get through there. There was no quick way to report. There was no one really looking into it. So you had some of these stolen mods up there, and the people actually putting in the comment, or not the comment, the description, like saying that, hey, we just took this from the Nexus and put it up here. Go me, and even asking for donations on PayPal. I mean, what the hell's up with that? That was ridiculous. And luckily, Bethesda did eventually, kind of crack down on that a little bit, and things have kind of settled down in that aspect. But the problem is, the fallout from that is we did lose a number of mod authors that would have loved to put something on console, just said, fuck it, and we're done. Most notably, guys like DD Productions 83. I can't think of his username right now, but the guy that did the Def UI mod, though I think he left more based on other reasons than supposed mod theft, but he put a lot of work into Def UI. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen that mod or have tried it on Xbox. It's a fantastic mod, and it works great as long as you don't have Nuka World. And the reason for that is he put the mod in for one of the contests or whatever, and it lost to like the, I don't know, Dog Companion or something, or Pew Pew Lasers or some bullshit like that. But anyways, he got pissed and decided not to do it anymore, so whatever. Good for that. But, the thing that happens is just, there's just was a bit of a disconnect, I think, between the mod authors and Bethesda. And sadly, that kind of did make some issues, but at the same time, they did fix a number of things. I mean, there's still problems, but it's not nearly what it was at the start. And I'm happy that mods are flourishing. We're still getting mods on consoles, and the controversies are kind of it's just kind of going away a little bit. And the stuff we're able to get on console is great. And the way that mod authors has found ways to work around issues are great too. I mean, things like, for example, Gopher with his Dynavision, able to actually get some sort of dynamic field of view for the Dynavision in there. It's amazing. If you look at it, you can look at his videos of his logs on how he worked on it and how actually making the version for Xbox actually helped him improve his version on PC. And I think that a number of other mod authors may have seen that too. Because of the limitations you have with consoles, it forces you to look at things in a different perspective. And when looking at them through, say, that kind of lens, you might actually see a better way to make something. But I digress. Mods on Xbox One it's been great that they've been here. And as you can see, I'm kind of scrolling through. This is my current load order. I do remember on the initial video I put out the day mods came out about how to use this, is that I did make the claim that it seemed like it was putting stuff in a load order for you, like automatically do. I was completely wrong on that. I think what I noticed was that a file I had downloaded was an ESM, so those automatically go up to the top, and I made that mistake there. And hopefully, hopefully that didn't cause many issues. I'm sure by now a lot of people have learned load orders and things like that with console, but I mean, even people doing mods on PC still have issues with load order, because a lot of people, they just want to download it, plug it in, play. But you gotta know where you're putting stuff. So, and it's nice when you're on PC being able to have tools like Loot that can help sort all that stuff and help clean dirty edits and things like that with the Test 5 edit and things like that. But on console, you don't have that option. It's kind of old school in that sense, where you really have to do it manually. So it makes you think about where you have certain mods. And if you do a Google search, you'll have suggestions on how to make things like load order, and there's all videos up on YouTube about that and things like that. And I'm not going to go into detail on that because I'm not perfect. I've kind of got I've got a general idea on a good way to make things, but it's even, I could have the exact same load order as somebody else with the exact same mods, and depending on what's done in the game, there could be different issues and conflicts that come up. So it's really just kind of you pick where you think things are going to go, and you go with that. I mean, there's a general rule for certain types of mods, and then of course a number of mod authors, if there is a specific load order need, they'll put that in the description. But yeah, so it's pretty amazing. Like I said, with the mods being out on Xbox One, which is nice. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there going, "Why don't you just get a PC? Fucking console peasant, get PC Master Race, do it on PC." You know what? I'd love to, but I've already had my Xbox One. My PC would barely be able to play Fallout 4 right out the box, let alone throw in all the mods I would love to throw in on that. I'm amazed it plays Skyrim as well as it does with all the mods I got on there. So I'm not spending the money to upgrade, because I got to upgrade my CPU and everything. My my GPU and all that stuff is good, and a lot of stuff is just the CPU is really lagging. So I'm not gonna shell out the money on that right now. Maybe eventually, but as it is, I've got it on here. I've got the mods on console, and it's just convenient. Don't even have to really think too much about it. So it is one of those things, and it's amazing that Bethesda's managed to make a game that is stable enough to do mods in the fashion that they have it through their in-game mod menu. Because I could only imagine them trying to do this with like Fallout 3 or Oblivion or even New Vegas trying to have something like this implemented in game, because that version of Gamebryo, that game engine just crashes nonstop even without having mods loaded. So it's something they've definitely improved on that front, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they get going with the future with this. But I'm starting to ramble now, and I just thought I'd take just a little bit of a retrospect on where things have come in this past year with mods. It started off with just all the gimmicky stuff, which just seems to be the general rule. And as time has gone on, there's been, more sophisticated mods coming out, and eventually, there will be even more, some deeper quest mods, some more, new armor stuff. I mean, take for example Sim Settlements. I mean, you're looking at right here. This just a mind blowing. It completely changes the game as far as settlements go. It is amazing. It's something I will cover in a future mod showcase. I'm not sure when. I want to get more familiar with it and how it works before I actually go over this one, because there's a lot to it, and the mod author does actually have an in-depth series on how it works as well. Yeah, that said, I do have another mod showcase coming this week, but I just wanted to take the time to just kind of get a little retrospective on everything. But anyways, this has been SpaceCoastDragon. Hit that like button, subscribe. As always, don't steal mods, and have a wonderful day.